People that have families are very lucky because most kids that end up on the streets come from backgrounds that are so horrible. It's just better to pretend that you're an orphan, that you never had a family in the first place. It's just easier to deal with it.
The charity is called Photocharity, and they have raised over $1 million over the past 9 years. And Jeffrey Zitkoff is joining us here this morning, and you are the man who started Photocharity. First of all, let's talk about how much money you have raised and how many kids you have helped through this Photocharity.
We've raised, Dan, $1.5 million to save homeless kids in San Diego. We've helped thousands of kids in our community. We've supported the Storefront Shelter. It's the only emergency homeless shelter for kids under 18.
And now, this is 12 to 18-year-old kids that are homeless.
Yes.
How many kids out there who fit in that category?
There's 2,000 kids that are homeless under 18. The problem is, Dan, once a kid turns 18, it doubles to 4,000 because once the kids are out of the foster program, 50% of them are homeless in the first 30 days, and there's not one shelter for these 4,000 kids. Photocharity now saves and shelters homeless youth 12 to 24 years old in San Diego and far beyond. For homeless youth 12 to 17 years old in San Diego, they go to Storefront Shelter. It's the only emergency homeless shelter for youth in our community. For the past 10 years, Photocharity has been Storefront's largest private donor. By funding new programs over the last 10 years, such as independent living skills, music, expressive arts therapy, anger management, and others, this has directly resulted in improving the already phenomenal success rate the Storefront has had of safe, long-term placement with these youth. Photocharity will fund House of Hope beds, safe, emergency beds in apartment-type settings for 18 to 24-year-old homeless youth. In order for these youth to use the House of Hope beds, they will be required during the day to go to independent living skills training or job readiness training and get their GED, with the goal to become self-sufficient young adults. The name Photocharity came about because of the relationships that I was able to develop by photographing some of the music greats, such as Billy Joel, Elton John, Bruce Springsteen, Carlos Santana, B.B. King, Etta James, Buddy Guy, Keb Mo, Chris Isaac, Michael McDonald, Steve Winwood, and many others. To date, Photocharity has raised over $675,000 in signed music memorabilia to save homeless youth. The youth that you will see in this video have been transformed as a direct result of Photocharity's partnership with Storefront for the past 10 years.
I'm Tyler. I was homeless since I was 12 years old, up until 18. Around 15 years old, I live in IB, grew up in IB. Came to a place that felt safe to me, which was the beach, and slept underneath the IB pier. My mom was off doing her own thing. She used to sell drugs. She was addicted to methamphetamine. She spent her money on the drugs and not rent, and that's why I ended up homeless. The ocean reaches up here because the sand's flat. Wake me up in the middle of the night, be soaking wet, 3:30 in the morning. Cold, like 50 degrees, wintertime. It took me a long time to trust people out of my age group. You know, the people that are way older than me. I'm 20, people that are 30 or 40, I don't really trust. They weren't there when I was homeless, so I don't really trust them until I got to Storefront and Photocharity. Then I kept seeing all the good people in the world, giving donations, helping us out.
My name's Matt Elza. I was homeless when I was 16 in Imperial Beach, San Diego. And this right here in this area is where I stayed. I never stayed in more than one spot for more than 4 days. Stayed here, slept either in there if I got too scared, or I slept like right here, wherever I can get comfortable. And it's good because I can see cops. I never panhandled, but I always stole food, or I go to grocery stores because I know they throw out food that's about to expire, but it's still good. They throw them in black bags, so I learned that little tidbit from some old guy. When it's cold and raining, It sucks. It's cold. You're trying to find a dry spot to get, like, you know, warm. When it was raining, I just found like a place. This wasn't a good spot when it was raining, by no means. I would be probably in jail right now without the Photocharity program, music program, and it's really important that we keep these things running because it really helps.
My name's Justine. I'm 21 years old. I was first homeless when I was 12 years old. Up until I was 15 or so, I bounced around from place to place. Wasn't allowed to go to school because I didn't have an address. So I had a hard time staying in school. At that age, you know, 13, 14, that's very hard to not be able to go to school because they say you can't, even if you want to, because of your circumstances. When I got food, when I could find food, it was usually I had to beg, borrow, or steal, you know. I'd hang out at Jack in the Boxes early in the morning, and there would be people that would feel bad for me and give me money so that I could buy food. I would street perform with my guitar and like hang out outside of businesses and play songs for people, and they'd give me money. When I was homeless, the most negative thing I had to deal with being a homeless youth and having to survive is that the police treat you like you're a criminal and like you're a delinquent child and you're running away so that you can be bad. They don't understand that you're running away from a bad situation. They just generally assume that all parents are good and do best for their kids. And so they assume that because you're on the streets that you're a bad person and you're a criminal. Photocharity is a very important thing for homeless kids in San Diego especially. There's lots of homeless kids out there. They don't have somewhere to sleep. They don't have anything to eat. They don't have anywhere to go to get anything to eat because they don't even have jobs or have money. You know, like they have a hard time going to school. It's very important. There's so many people out there that are going to just get tossed to the wayside if Photocharity does not get the House of Hope. The House of Hope is a very important thing because once you turn 18, if you need help, you pretty much drop off the face of the earth. There's nobody there to help you. If you're 18, you know, it's hard to get into a shelter because there's so many older homeless people that are already fighting to get in there, and you just don't fit into that demographic, but you're also not really necessarily a youth anymore, but you still are. The 18 to 24-year-old span is really, really difficult for a lot of people, especially when they're transitioning off the streets, because they just don't have those skills and they don't have anybody to show them where to get those skills. How do I get a job? How do I write my resume? You know, like how do I apply for an apartment? Simple stuff that you just don't learn living on the streets.
You have seen too much and are not to help. I'm going to ask you to take action on the following. Please give us a donation, the most meaningful donation you can give so we can help save more homeless youth. Go to Storefront and actually see where your money's going. Bruce Springsteen wrote a song, Balboa Park, after spending 2 days at Storefront. Have a meeting and invite the most successful people you know at that meeting so we can educate them about the homeless youth issue so they can help us also. Help us with our yearly events. Photocharity's walk and concert will expand this year to become a national walk in which Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, and others will be joining Photocharity on the same day. It only costs $18 to walk because in Hebrew, number 18 means life. And since we're bringing life to these homeless kids, it works. We've raised $1.5 million doing this. Please be a corporate sponsor for our events. We need your help. And lastly, be a volunteer. You can be a volunteer to help us with our Photocharity events. You can help us with fundraising. You can actually go on outreach once a week for 6-month commitment at Storefront. There's many ways to help. Please help us.
The thing that inspires me the most to help other homeless youth is just knowing that there's some little girl out there that's cold and alone, just like I was, that doesn't know what she's going to do with her life or what's going to happen to her. And that just by doing this and getting that out there, that somehow she might find out about Photocharity or she might find out about the Storefront. and somebody will help her. Somebody will see something about that on television and see that girl sitting on the street and be like, I know how I can help you.
Hey, do you know me? Hey, do you know me? I drive the city bus. I see a lot of people who are down on their luck. I keep a pocket full of change for those who cannot pay.